One of the first things we're going to cut out would be a branch to a tree. And much like the Wizard of Oz, the trees that Forrest and Dorothy went through, if you remember, those trees had grabbing hands. So what we're going to do is sketch out on a piece of 1/4-inch plywood a scary old branch that's going to represent a hand. So that's the first thing we do. And that's what it's going to look like. And now we're going to go ahead and turn on our saw from Dremel and go ahead and cut it out. It's kind of like a sewing machine, the way you'd hold fabric down. You move the blade and board around a little bit to give it some character. Cut it back in to make a little bit of the wrist. Bring it out to make a little nub on the thumb. Come on out and bring the little thumbnail. Alright, now what we're going to do is shoot right across. And the reason I did that is so that I can begin to get into where the fingers are without having these horrific bends to deal with. So here we go. Now note that this is the thumb. I'm going to back out, the easiest way to do it. Now I'm going to take the index finger, and what we're going to do is come back in and go find where I made that cut on the thumb, mate up with that little cut at the very base of it, and there it is. The little piece comes right out. You have the first part of your thumb. You go on and cut it out. Now that we've cut it out, we have to shape it, sand it, and give it some nice round edges so it looks polished as opposed to all rough and square. So here we go. We have our little Dremel tool. That isn't plugged in. Oh, it was on. Alright, so now we just get the edges on the back first, because when the saw blade comes down, it has a very nice, clean, smooth part on the top, but on the back of the plywood when you cut it, that jagged edge coming down rips and leaves all the little fuzz. So you get that off first. You go back to the main side that you're going to have, and you start shaping. And you come down into the crotch of the fingers so that you actually give it a 3D appearance. Alright, so you do that to all the fingers, coming down in the web. Better than crotch, isn't it? We'll go into the web. You get these little accents by digging down deep. Now, if that doesn't look like the hand of Swamp Man, I don't know what does. Okay, here's the midterm frame. We have it all painted out, primed in black, because it's going to be an eerie piece called Nevermore, in the vein of Edgar Allan Poe. Now you notice the little cutout trees here, and here's some more that will be going in. Scary, ooh. Now, what you see here is the official technical plan. We consulted with Stephen Hawking on this, and you can see all of the different particle flow from the Higgs boson field that will eventually come together and make this art piece. This is part of the roof that's pre-assembled, and this is the beginning of the house that will end up over in this section here with a roof on it. But that will come later. We also have a number of little hands that will be made animatronic to point. So if you want to point to something very scary and funny, you just bring it down and go, oh my goodness, there it is. And now we're going to do the touch-up painting with Valspar. Valspar is a great one-cover paint, and that's why I buy it. This color is a satin black, because what we're building is a Edgar Allan Poe-ish type art piece called Nevermore. I'm building this along with fine artist James Hahn, who will be doing the finish painting. I do the animatronics, I bring everything to life, and I do all the construction and priming. And right now, I'm fixing to prime some little spots that were missed. Now, I can't really say that I missed them, although I did. So, I'll blame a little bit for this. When he gets in, I'll just tell him that I had to spend some extra time fixing his paint. Now that in itself would be hilarious, because he'll agree with me, even though he never painted it. Paycheck, that's the difference. My name goes on the paycheck. Now we have the next phase. Here you see the black background has been added, and the scary trees have now been inserted. Beyond that, we're going to have the scary house and the scary fence to be painted by the scary artist James Hahn. Hey, Chiefy, got a better one than that for you. December 13th, 1977, Chiefy. 100 men went into the plant. 13 come out. Machinery and saw blades got the rest of them. Wasn't about till 7 a.m. that morning, Chiefy. George Campini, a friend of mine from high school, first-rate setup man. We heard the screams, Chiefy. I saw the sawdust on the floor turn red. Yeah, Chiefy, I'd never been so scared in all my life. It wasn't about 11:55, waiting my turn. I was scared. But then they came and they called me, and I went to lunch, Chiefy.